So welcome back, viewers, here in St. Louis. National Trans Day of Remembrance. St. Louis's chapter here. Got here late because I was at the other action, but there were some speak-outs happening about some of the difficulties of trans lives here in St. Louis. Those that have been taken. I'll get some more information here, but I know one was is being investigated as a possible hate crime.
It's ridiculous out here. We have
Yes, we should not block the bus.
Oh, yeah. No, so this is ridiculous out here. We have the children of the victims of the intersection of racism and transphobia out here. You know, the family of Keaton Herron, who was killed by the St. Louis police, is still being harassed by the man who led to the police coming to their house. And just today, the police once again are delivering an indictment and actually forcing him to appear in court with the two officers who killed his spouse.
Wow.
This is ridiculous. Here on the Transgender Day of Remembrance. You know, the problems of the police never end in St. Louis. It's ridiculous. And they attack us, like, you know, all intersections of society here have been victimized by the police. And really it's time that we come together and we start realizing that this isn't a one-off, this is a systematic problem that we need to address.
So you're saying it's all tied together?
It's all tied together, every single bit of it. You know, they were killed by those white officers, both because they were black and because they were trans, and there's no way you can separate the two.
Our street! Our street! Our street!
I missed all the speak out, so... Oh, did you just get here? I didn't really bullshit thing? I heard him bullshit. That's helpful. I'm sure they lost 50 cents or something.
No peace! No peace! No peace! Police! Police! No peace! No peace! No peace! Police! No peace! No peace! No peace! Police!
If we don't get it,
Shut it down!
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 we don't get it,
Shut it down!
if we don't get it,
Shut it down!
no justice,
No peace!
no justice,
No peace!
no justice,
No peace!
no justice,
No peace!
no transphobic,
Police!
no transphobic,
Police!
no transphobic,
Police!
no transphobic.
Police!
LGBTQIA!
We will never go away!
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 Out of the closet,
In the streets!
out of the closet,
In the streets!
out of the closet,
Into the streets!
out of the closet,
Into the streets!
Whose streets?
Our streets!
Whose streets?
Our streets!
Whose streets?
Our streets!
What do we want?
Justice!
What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
When do we want it?
Now!
If we don't get it,
Shut it down!
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 I said if we don't get it,
Shut it down!
Indict, convict,
send those killer cops
To jail! The whole damn system is guilty as hell!
indict,
Convict! Send those killer cops to jail!
the whole damn system is guilty as hell.
All right, new viewers, if you're just joining me and you were watching my last action on the north side of St. Louis, you'll understand why I was late and missed all the speak-outs here, but this is National Trans Day of Remembrance, November 20th, and this is here in St. Louis, and some of the speak-outs were talking about trans issues with the police, and we were talking to Keith Rose just a minute ago, and he was telling us how he sees the problems with the trans community and police tied together with African Americans here in St. Louis, the systemic problem. Basically, he was saying all marginalized folks get similar treatment and disrespect from police of St. Louis. And it is definitely common stories I hear. Even the second time I was arrested here, 3 trans were in those arrestees, and they were mocked and humiliated pretty much the whole time.
So, you know, when we came here after the death of Kiwi Herring, we met at the Trenton Memorial Park and we marched up here the same way. And it was on that night that a car actually drove through our protest.
Yeah.
Someone almost went under the car and someone was thrown over the cars. And so we always got to be careful whenever we're out here because these drunk people are much more likely to hit you with their cars than stop and go around like a courteous person. So,
Didn't something just come out about the dude who did that?
Yeah, he just got indicted, actually. He just got indicted.
For like misdemeanors, I believe?
Yes, misdemeanor, fleeing the scene, and
Yeah.
assault on an officer, I think.
It had nothing to do with him actually hitting people. It was fleeing the scene.
Tighten up! Tighten up! Tighten up! Tighten up! Okay, tighten up, people! You all right? Everybody in the back say hey! Mic check! Mic check! Everybody, got everybody turn the corner? Okay. All right. Let's go, people! Whose streets?
Our streets!
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 Yes. No justice!
No peace!
No justice!
No peace!
No justice!
No peace!
No racist!
Police!
No justice!
No peace!
No justice!
No peace!
No justice!
No peace!
No racist!
Police!
No justice!
No peace!
No justice!
No peace!
No justice!
No peace!
No racist!
Police!
No justice!
No peace!
No justice!
No peace!
No justice!
No peace!
No racist!
Police!
The trans lives are under attack! What do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
Trans lives are under attack! What do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
Trans lives are under attack! What do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
Trans lives are under attack! What do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
Fight back! Stand up!
Fight back! Fight back! Fight back!
They think it's a game!
They think it's a joke!
They think it's a game!
They think it's a joke!
They think it's a game!
They think it's a joke!
It's a game!
They think it's a joke!
Ain't no game!
Ain't no 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 joke!
It's a game!
They think it's a joke!
They think it's a game!
They think it's a joke! They think it's a
It's a game!
joke! They think it's a joke!
Ain't no game!
Ain't no 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 joke!
They thought we were going to be standing in one area.
Show them what community looks like!
This is what community looks like!
Show them what community looks like!
This is what community looks like!
Show them what community looks like!
This is what community looks like!
Show them what community looks like!
This is what community looks like!
Show them what St. Louis looks like!
This is what St. Louis looks like!
Show them what St. Louis looks like!
This is what St. Louis looks like.
Show them what St. Louis looks like.
This is what St. Louis looks like.
Show them what St. Louis looks like.
This is what St. Louis looks like.
Doing that? How's the team doing back there? Everybody doing all right?
We're doing fine.
Everybody okay? Just checking on you.
Hey, if you're ready to make it anybody.
Hi, Rob.
Hey.
See you.
Yep, nice seeing you again.
Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Transphobia has got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Transphobia has got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Transphobia has got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Transphobia has got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Transphobia has got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Transphobia has got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! No justice!
No peace.
No justice!
No peace.
No justice!
No peace.
No racist!
Police.
No racist!
Police.
No racist!
Police.
No racist!
Police.
No justice!
No peace.
No justice!
No peace.
No justice!
No peace.
No justice!
No peace.
No transphobic!
Police.
No transphobic!
Police.
No transphobic!
Police.
No transphobic!
Police.
If we don't get it,
Shut it down.
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 we don't get it.
Shut it down.
And if we don't get it,
Shut it down.
and if we don't get it,
Shut it down.
and if we don't get it,
Shut it down.
I know that we will win.
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 I believe
I believe.
that we will win.
I believe that we will win.
I believe that we will win.
I believe that we will win.
Stop a little bit.
Out of the bars!
Into the streets!
Out of the bars!
Into the streets.
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 Trans lives are under attack. What do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
Trans lives are under attack. What do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
Trans lives are under attack. What do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
Trans lives are under attack. What do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
Whose streets?
Our streets.
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 No more demands. No more demands. Y'all stop killing us. No more demands.
Y'all stop killing us!
No more demands.
Y'all stop killing us!
No more demands.
Y'all stop killing us!
No more demands.
Y'all stop killing us.
No more demands.
Y'all stop killing us.
No more demands.
Y'all stop killing us.
Hey, hello. Transphobia has got to go.
Hey, hey. Ho, ho. Transphobia has got to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. Transphobia has got to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. Transphobia has got to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. Transphobia has got to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. Transphobia has got to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. Transphobia has got to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. Transphobia has got to go. Hey, hey.
Transphobia is not welcome here.
No hate, no fear. Transphobia is not welcome here. No hate, no fear. Transphobia is not welcome here. No hate, no fear. Transphobia is not
RebZ.
That was live, bro.
I
was
know.
going to ask you, tell us about your sign, but apparently you're too hostile. I'm just kidding.
Hostile trans.
So tell us about Scout Schultz.
They're killed because they were trans, and that's not okay.
Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're from September 21st. I think like their friends because they were having like a mental health emergency.
They what now?
They were having a mental health emergency.
Uh-huh.
And their friends called the cops to get them help. And
The cops ended up killing.
yeah, don't call cops if people are having mental health emergencies.
It's a common problem around the country.
We will not forget! We will not forget! We will not forget!
Alright, whoever holds your poster, we're going to start over here. I want you to say the person's name one more time, because why? We will not forget! Start over here.
Man, that's Boston.
Sean Hay. Derek Commander. Tiara Richmond. Chavis Reed.
Josie Barrios.
Ollie Steinfeld.
Ebony Morgan.
Scout Schultz.
Alfonso Watson.
If you got the posters, go ahead and say the names out loud.
JoJo Stryker.
China Dupree. India Monroe.
Stephanie Montez.
T.T. Dangerfield.
Danny McFadden. Lisa Caldwell.
Kiwi Herring.
Ava LeRae Barron.
What of your song?
All right, these are the names of 25 people that we lost this year to murder, violence. Are we going to do any more? Hell no! Hell no! Right, let's give these wonderful people a round of applause. Let them know they're appreciated and loved. Because you know what? This is what community looks like.
Yep.
All right. We have what we've done. We've got the Christian Blue Cunningham. We're hanging these faces and flame posters on these trees in the grove so people in our community that come here will know and will not forget these people. So help Krista hang these names on these trees, hang these posters so we will know these people live in our hearts and our minds, and we have money to remember. Thank you all very much for coming out tonight. Please, if you need to ride back to the center, we have cookies and punch there. If you want to stay here and just mingle with the community, that's good too, because it's nice that we have each other to hold on to. Thank you all very much. And one more time, we will not forget! Yes, thank you.
It is our duty to fight for our freedom.
It is our duty to fight for our freedom.
It is our duty to win.
It is our duty to win.
We must love and support each other.
We must love and support each
We
other.
have nothing to lose but our chains.
We have nothing to lose but our chains.
It is our duty to fight for our freedom.
It is our duty to fight for our freedom.
It is our duty to win.
It is our duty to win.
We must love and support each other.
We must love and support each other.
We have nothing to lose but our chains.
We have nothing to lose but our chains.
If you want, put your candles in this blue box over here if you still have them. And if you want to, after the ground is wet and you want to stick your sign in there, stick your sign in the ground too.
So again, thanks for joining me here. Second action tonight here in St. Louis. This particular action, the later one, was the St. Louis chapter of the Trans Day of Remembrance. It's going on nationwide in various cities. Here in St. Louis, the activists are honoring names of transgender folk who have been killed through hate crimes and through violence from the police. Again, as Keith Rose, who I was talking to earlier, was pointing out, marginalized folk, no matter whether they're black, trans, gay, other minorities, are treated similarly by the police, get the same type of harassment, mistreatment in jail, mistreatment on the streets, humiliation. So that's what activists are out here for today. In the previous action, if you didn't join me, We were in North St. Louis at a gas station formerly as Phillips 66, where a young man was killed by one of the shop attendants who claimed he was stealing a bag of chips, shot him in the back of the head. Even if he was stealing a bag of chips, not worth murder. Comes to find out through the police investigation, he wasn't stealing anything. Poor communities all over Northwest and South St. Louis, preying upon the community, selling drugs, doing illegal activity, selling drug supplies, as we saw in that broadcast. Even the new gas station, supposedly they're saying under new ownership, which we know it's the same family who owns it. They're just changing it to a shell to try to hide previous controversy. But even if it was completely new ownership and the new people were trying to do business clean, we saw in the front counter they're targeting poor people on crack and heroin by selling supplies for that, and loose cigarettes, because we know somebody bought a loose cigarette there earlier in the day. And that is predatory behavior on the poor community. That money does not go into the community. The people who work and own those shops live in the rich suburbs outside of St. Louis. And so it was bringing attention to that specific Phillips 66, but activists were saying it's a problem at gas stations all over St. Louis who are owned by out-of-towners, and similar type of activity happening there. So for those of you stuck through both my broadcasts, I appreciate it, guys. I got here as quick as I can. I did miss the speak-outs here, but it looks like the action is wrapping up for the night. There will be another action the night before Thanksgiving from the Expect Us organizers, I think about 5 o'clock Central Time, so I should be live for that. I will be heading out of town the next day to go visit family. I haven't seen in a long time, so it'll be good. Since my family's in Chicago and I'm finally close around the holidays, I'll be able to spend at least a couple days with my family, hopefully. After that, I'm planning on most likely coming back to St. Louis. I may have to head back to PA, to my home base, to get up some of my winter supplies. I wasn't planning on being out here this long uninterrupted. I've got a lot of things I got to get to back in PA. I got to get some car issues taken care of as well. So I may do that right after my Chicago trip, to try to get back to St. Louis as quickly as possible if this is where I need to be. Or, I mean, there's pipeline battles on the horizon here. I could be in Pennsylvania, obviously where I'm where my home base is. There's some actions going on there, and in Minnesota. So most likely I'll be coming back to St. Louis right after, but just in case you don't see me for a week or so here in St. Louis, you know why. It's because I am doing some traveling and trying to figure out where I need to go next, or if I need to stay here in St. Louis. Obviously, I'll get, I will hop in my car and get back here ASAP if something goes down. But just wanted to keep you guys aware of my plans. And obviously, I can't do any of this without support from viewers like you. I'm 100% supported by you. I don't run ads or get paid by corporate donors. It's all from you. Those $5, $10, $20 donations add up at times and help me out. You know, the larger donations help me fill up my gas and keep me fed. Data costs, which I can never keep up on. And also the monthly donations, I now have that option. If you go to RebZ.tv/donate, you can donate $1, $3, $5 or more a month. For as little as $1, become a contributor, and that helps out because that adds up. It may seem like nothing to you, but if enough of you guys become $1 or $3 contributors, that really adds up. And if you can do more, that's super helpful. It can help me keep my confidence that I can stay on the road and keep bringing you live broadcasts and continue to grow my stream as needed. So definitely, if you've been meaning to help me out and donate in the past and just haven't had the opportunity, now's definitely the time. I am definitely going to need it here. Like I said, I cannot do this without your support. So thank you, everybody who has supported me thus far and continuing to. I broadcast my stream on 5 different locations ad-free. With this just for the Ustream, but those aren't my ads. They run those by themselves. I don't take any ad money. And make sure you follow me on Twitter at revolutionary_Z. Follow our RebZ.tv Twitter as well. That's just simply at RebZ.tv. Facebook page also, you can find that by putting the @ symbol RebZ.tv. And that is it for now, folks. I am going to sign off from St. Louis again. If you don't see me tomorrow, I'll definitely be out live Wednesday evening. Join me then. back here in St. Louis as protests against systemic racism and police brutality continue. So, folks, this is RebZ signing off. I will see you guys very soon. Thanks for tuning in tonight for both actions. I appreciate it. Have a good one.